Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the live stream. Tonight, we are playing some more Kerbal Space Program. And since it's the season, I thought I'd try keeping the music going throughout the whole stream this time. But for now, I've got a very special mission for us. Our goal is to get to the moon this stream, no matter what. I've been doing some tinkering in my off time, and that has led to sorry. Actually, hang on. I'm already telling that the music's gonna be too distracting for me to keep talking, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep that off. And yeah, our goal is to make it to the moon today. I know there are a few things we're gonna need to research, but I figured out that there's a science tool that we've been very much neglecting that will get us there. And we're gonna need the heavy rocketry. We're gonna need fuel systems, landing. Yeah, well, I say all this and stuff like not all that in general construction. So we're gonna need a few hundred more science, but I know how to get it. So we're gonna start with a science mission to run. Where is it? Here it is. This thing. This is the science part that I was very much neglecting. I forgot that this whole thing is a science part. Like, you can run experiments on that. I thought it was just a place to store science stuff. So we're going to go ahead and slap all that on there. And just get all that logged onto the first custom key. Okay. Now then we're going to need an ablator shield. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of ag shoots on this in order to help us slow down on the re-entry. And, of course, the main chute. Now, from here, we're going to have here we go. A coupler. And that'll be our main craft once we're in orbit. The nice light Terrier engine. Oh yes, and I can't forget the peanut butter. Very important, very important. Gotta include some reaction wheels. And a few of these things. Let's see. Slap some of those on there. Slap on a couple of these bad boys. A little more monopropellant on this stage. And then we're going to need a couple of... One thing I learned is that we're going to need a couple of fins on these solid fuel boosters in order to keep these flying steady while they decouple. Otherwise, they'll sort of cronk back into the actual body of the rocket and usually take off an engine. Not fun. There we go. And for the actual scientist, we're actually going to want a scientist. We're going to send Bob. Because scientists can actually reset experiments to collect data multiple times. We're going to call this guy the Science Scoot 1. And staging should be all properly set up. I've been doing more research about how to orbit things properly. Now we're going to start with the initial launch. Start the gravity turn. Oh, those are still burning a little bit, it looks like. Okay. And once we're above the Karman line, we're going to set this to prograde. Giving ourselves out a little bit. And then once our apoapsis is about T minus 30 seconds away, we're going to start a steady burn. I learned this, you don't want to do. My thought was to just burn like a bat out of hell for the horizon. But what you want to do is do a steady burn until you hit about keeping this about 30 seconds away from. Just like that. It's not as exciting, but it'll use a lot less fuel. And then we should finish our orbit. Oh, shit. Ah, shit. And the Terrier engine doesn't have enough power to get us fully orbited. Okay, we're going to revert to launch. Actually, no, what we're going to do is revert to vehicle assembly. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 2 engines here and here, 2 extra engines. And then these 2 stages will work in tandem. Add some extra thrust, but also extra control during that initial gravity turn. Then we're gonna pop some wings on that. And right here. That ain't right. Hang on a second. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now what we're going to do is that ain't right. Okay, need to switch this up. These need to be a little closer so that I can put them in a sets of 2 there. And that ain't right. There. Okay, here we go. Now we're cooking. Now put on the solid boosters. There we go. Now then, we'll align the fins of these things. We'll actually put the fins on the outside here. Okay. That's better. Now we're going to include our all right. Okay. All right, let's launch the Science Scoot 2. And that should hopefully do what we need it to. And then once we hit 100 meters per second, start a 10-degree gravity turn. There we go. That's better. And just as planned, those 2 engines are burning out at That might have done better than I expected. Okay, that should do. Lock on prograde. Here we go. We're just going to zoom in a little bit closer, because I know all y'all want to get to the good bit. Here we go. This is working a lot better. Okay, hopefully that's enough Delta V to get us in a stable orbit. Aim slightly above prograde to keep us going upward slightly. And we are now in a stable orbit. Okay. All right.
You're going down the wind.
Okay, so that's restored. All right.
Why weren't you at elf practice?
Because I was busy going to space. Okay, so now we're going to set our ascending and descending nodes and do the same thing over the surface of Moon. Okay. It's going to be 15-second burn, which means we need to start up at the 7-second mark. set this to... that. Then we're going to want to warp in a little bit closer. And then once we hit that 7-second mark, we're going to do a nice hard burn to align our orbits. Okay. Now we need to start prepping for our encounter. Okay. I'm just going to start over on this. Okay. 50-second burn of about 800 delta V. Yes, that should do nicely. Set that to maneuver. That's 49 seconds, so that's going to be start burning around the 25-second mark. Here we go. And that should give us enough delta V that we should be able to get our way back down, no trouble. Once we do a flyby of Moon. Okay. Now we're going to shift our focus to the Moon. Okay, well, then we should be fine, yeah. Yeah, that'll be fine. Go ahead and warp here. Now we're going to warp to right here. crew report. An EVA report. Ah, crap. Okay. Grab a material study. Good stuff. All right. Okay. Now we're going to warp until we're back in Kerbin orbit. Then we'll go ahead and hit a warp to next maneuver. And that's going to be a 9-second burn. We're just going to speed past all of that nonsense. Yeah, we're just going to fast forward until we hit apoapsis. Almost there. And close enough. Okay, and our periapsis is at 13,000 meters. Good. That should be low enough that we should be able to land back on Kerbin without too much trouble. So we're going to warp back here until we start our atmospheric reentry. Where is Kerbin? There it is. And we're just going to warp to the interesting bit here. Ah, shit. Well, mission's borked. Can't get back down. Okay. We're going to try that again. 10-degree gravity turn. Open up the throttle wide. Okay. And And we're going to start on a prograde burn. Almost there. This is kind of the boring part, I admit, but... And we'll start our orbital burn again. Come on. Get yourself into a nice, neat, spiffy little orbit. I'm actually going to give us a bit more room to play here since next... Yep. There we go. Just finished getting that orbit into a nice circle. Come on, man. Come on. Okay, we got ourselves our orbit realigned. Conduct material study. Keep experiment. All right. Get an EVA report. Nah, it's not worth anything. Get a crew report for a bit of cheap science. There we go. And warp to next maneuver is going to be a 13-second burn. Oh, almost missed a window there. Okay, now we get that aligned nice as you like. Shit, I fucked it up. Okay. Okay, gonna be a real fast burn. There we go. Okay, now we got those set up nice. Yeah, that should do nice. All right. Now then, at the end of this, we should have a periapsis just starting to dip into the atmosphere. So if we do a retrograde burn at the apoapsis, that'll drop that down into the atmosphere and do what we need it to do. I made a cut it fine with the delta V on this one. Gonna want to start at about the 22-second mark. No, I'm just gonna wait it out. So how are we all doing tonight, chat? You all having fun? Y'all have a good Thanksgiving? Mine was pretty good. My grandpa came over, my sister and her partner came over, her friend Caitlin came over. It was a pretty good time. Oh, it was nice to have so many people like that over for Thanksgiving this year. People, I won't say the words under the age of 50, but oh, I just noticed that my veins horrifyingly bulge through the neck of my sweater. Oh, you worked on Thanksgiving? Oh, wow, that must really suck for you. Can't imagine doing something like that. But seriously, folks, don't go shopping on Thanksgiving. It just encourages stores to stay open during the holiday when the workers should be at home. Oh, sweet. A return perhaps this will just automatically drop us right back onto the Kerbin. Okay. If I did a slight retrograde burn, what would happen? Yeah, let's do a slight prograde burn here. Okay, that should do it. That might have actually hosed us right there. No, we should be all right. Okay. All right, we're going to do a material study. Keep experiment. Okay. Get a crew report. And yep. Go EVA. An EVA report. Okay. Get back on the ship. Now then. Okay. And drop down back to Kerbin. And we're going to be coming in pretty hot, but that's why I put those drag chutes on there. Going to want to line ourselves onto retrograde. And we started our re-entry. Gonna go ahead and ditch that fuel tank before it sets us ablaze. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. What the fuck? What the hell happened? Okay. Don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this, but okay. I think the problem was that I came in too fast. We're going to conduct material study. Experiment. Now we're going to recover the vessel for a quick bit of cheap science. Okay. How fucking dare you? Anyway. This, and this. Okay. New plan. We're going to try this one more time, and if not, we're going to switch to an unmanned probe landing on the surface of Moon. Also, for all of you watching, this is a reminder that I have converted my Throne page into a toy drive for the holidays. That's right, I am collecting toys to donate to Dr. Bear's Closet at Children's National Hospital. So feel free to check out what I've got available there. I've got plenty of options to pick from. Some of them even under $10. If you're feeling the holiday spirit, why not take a look? You know, help some kid have a nice holiday. I should probably have a pre-written spiel for that. Okay, we're gonna warp here. Oh, looks like we're here at the ad break. Or we're just gonna keep on going. This is probably a good time for the ad break. This is kind of the slow part. Okay, there we go. All right, all right. We're doing pretty good here. And we're putting some distance between us and our apoapsis. Since we're about to switch to a much lighter engine. And I think that ought to do it. Distance holding. Okay. Now we're going to warp to our apoapsis. And find a prograde and gun it. And just for the hell of it, let's try and get our... Nice circular orbit. Okay, now we switch to moon, set that as our target. Technically 0.1 will work, but I like to try and get it to 0.0. Ah, fuck it. That'll be a 7-second burn, so we want to hit it around the 3-second mark. Here we go. Okay, got it. Perfect. And I'm going to create a save game right here. All right. I'm going to warp to the next maneuver. Now, that's going to be the 25-second mark. Shit! Fucked it up. That went way too fast. Okay. We're going to start over. Sure, that'll do it. Okay. And once we hit the 25-second mark, we'll start the burn. Retrograde burn there. Yeah, that should do it okay. Yep. Almost there. And drop that. Go. Come on, come on. Okay. That should do it. We got our periapsis to just kiss the atmosphere there. That should do it. Okay. And there it is. The moon. Okay. And we're going to warp the neck. There's a lot of turbulence in space. Yes, yes. I must make sure that my urethra is braced.
Brace your urethra for turbulence.
My urethra is braced for turbulence. And doop-a-doop-a-doo, warp into the next maneuver. All right. Once we hit the 5-second mark, that's when we want to hit the gas. And we're almost there. After this, I think we're going to try an unmanned landing on the moon, since now I know how to keep the probe communicating properly. I have to make sure to land in a way that lets me face Kerbin. Then that should give us enough science for a manned landing. Almost there. I've messed it up too many times. I don't want to screw up the burn now. Six, 5. Where's our periapsis sitting at? Okay, I can work with that. Then once we start to get closer to the atmosphere, I'll just gun the engine. Slow us down a bit more. And warp until we enter the atmosphere. Okay. Now, it might actually take us a couple passes, but we should be able to use the atmosphere of Kerbin to slow ourselves down a bit. There you can see our apoapsis dropping there. Yep, it's going to take us a couple of passes, I think, to properly get back down to speed, but that's fine. Better than burning up in the atmosphere because we were going too fast. Ablator supply is holding. Okay. Come on. Well, the good news is we're dipping deep enough that it should go a lot quicker than last time when it took nearly an hour. There we go. Oh no, back on the warp speed. And we're going to start re-entering the atmosphere. And they're going to see each pass is going to take less and less and less time. Sorry if this is a bit slow, folks, but in space, that's just how it is sometimes. Come on. I wish we could start the faster warp sooner. I'll probably see if I can find a mod for that. There we go. Oh, the 9 p.m. crap. Ah, god damn it. Okay. At least it happened during something boring. And re-entering Kerbin's atmosphere. Come on, please let this be it. Be the run that completely decays the orbit. Out of the millions. Not quite. I think 1 or 2 more passes ought to do it. So let me tell you at least what I have planned next. For the next mission, I think we're going to try and land an unmanned probe on Moon. And I think that should be fairly simple to do. It turns out the trick, all we have to do is make sure that our probe is still within line of sight of Kerbin, and we'll be able to maintain control. So that's just a matter of being clever with how we land it, and we should be able to pull it off. Currently plan on fitting it out with a few different experiments. Still won't give us as much scientific data as a manned mission, but should still be pretty good. Come on, man. Here we go. All right, thankfully, as the curve gets tighter and tighter around the planet, that means we spend more and more time in the atmosphere, which should help us out a lot. Like, look at that. We've already hit the atmosphere again all the way over here. I got a good feeling about this pass. I think this is going to be the one that decays the orbit fully. I know I said that about the last few passes, but I really got a good feeling about this one. Actually, I haven't. Maybe not. Come on. Come on. Yes, I think this is it. Just got to get it below 70,000. Yes, this is the get. This is going to be the run that finally decays the orbit all the way down. All right, we are officially fully within Kerbin's atmosphere. And losing, nuts, yep. And losing velocity and altitude. Once we get slow enough to deploy the chutes, we will. Oh, hit another patch of turbulence there. That's fine. That just means we're slowing down. Slowing down a lot. Slowing down a lot. Like, you wouldn't believe how much slowing down we're doing right now. Holy fuck. Okay, okay. Things are calming back down. Things are calming back down. Told you all we didn't need to panic. Okay. There we go. Deploy the
Why
ships.
weren't you at elf practice?
Because I was too busy picking my nose. And now we just drift down to the surface, nice and slow as you please. There we go. There go the drag chutes. Main chute should deploy at 1,000 meters. There it goes. And coming in for a landing. Once it touches down, we'll recover our vessel. Yes! The moment of impact is always so scary. But we made it. All right, got ourselves a nice 92 science. Should be enough for some of these. What do I want to get? Journal Kaon's power. I guess we'll get these. Just to have them. Now, we start on the moon probe. We're going to start with a Probodyne Octo. That'll be our brain for the whole operation. Next, we're going to slap a big old fuel tank on it. And on that fuel tank, we're going to slap the Terrier engine. We're also going to include some reaction wheels for control while we're in the air over the moon. Then we're going to need some landing stuff, so I'm going to include probably actually a full suite of 8 landing legs just to give us maximum stability. Going to start the flight retracted. And for communication, we're going to include a high gain antenna. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to need scientific instruments to have this. Yes. Okay. Okay. Now then, we're going to want just a little snooter on top. Now then. We're going to want a few battery packs as well. As we all know, power is stored in the balls, or in this case, that thingy. And include a ring of solar panels here. Go to barometer. And of course, the mystery goo. And then to command 1, we're going to bind all of these to extend the legs. And then command 2, we're going to bind log pressure data, observe mystery goo, log temperature, and conduct material study. All right, now we're going to add some Man, I still didn't get the key coupler for that size. Wait. Yes, I did. Okay. Let's see, put that there and then add 3. Yes, 3. 3 swivel engines. We're going to call this Moon Water 1. Alrighty. So then we're gonna over here we're gonna add our decoupler. And another bigger stack of fuel tanks. And then here's going to be another. Yes, another 3. This time Reliant engines. Then we're going to add 3 beefy solid fuel boosters. Yep, there we go. And we're going to slap some aerodynamic stuff on the tips of these. Okay. This should get us all the data we need for a manned landing if it works. Hey, welcome back, enemy out. We are just about to start an attempt to land. Okay, slow takeoff. That's fine. This is a lot of weight that thing's hefting. We're actually going to kick on the liquid engines too. There we go. We're going to start our gravity turn. Jettison the solid fuel boosters. Probably just bomb our own base there. That's fine. Mind that wobble. Okay, revert flight to vehicle assembly. We're having some clear drag issues. That's what causes that wobble there. Basically, the thing is that we need to have more drag in the front than we do in the back. Okay, we'll add that. Scoot those a little bit there. And to avoid them colliding, we're going to put them like that, yes. Make that whole thing a little more aerodynamic. Yes. Okay. And what we've got, including extra stage. It's hitting me that I forgot the RCS ports. So we have no RCS. That's fine. And revert flight to vehicle assembly. Okay. Okay, throw a few of those on there. And add a whole bunch of these. Add a nice bit of drag along the bottom. And tweak our staging now. Put all this on the same stage. And we're going to try that again. And for those of you just tuning in, don't forget that I am running a toy drive off my throne page this holiday season. I've got a wide variety of toys available to donate to the Children's Hospital, Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C. The deadline to donate is going to be December 20th. Be sure to get those orders in before, sorry, not December 20th, December 15th. December 20th is the day everything's going to get donated, so I want everything ordered by the 15th to give everything time to get shipped in. Okay, we seem to be holding. I don't think this is going to make it, folks. Still going to give the old college a try, but... well, maybe. Okay. We've at least partly done it. Okay. Okay. This one is a bit of a long shot, but we might actually make it. Okay. Okay, that ought to do it. Now let's align orbits. Oh, good. We are very close. Will not take very much adjusting at all. There we go. Okay. Warp the next move. It's just be a nice little 1-second burn. Okay. Now we start prepping for our encounter. We might not have enough Delta V for a successful landing, but I'm damn well gonna try. Okay. So at closer to 23 second. Let's make that the 13-second mark. Working with about 2,000 Delta V should be enough. Hopefully. It's a matter of, are we going to have enough to circularize our orbit and then land? Because we have to orbit around the moon until we're in a position where we'll be within eye shot of Kerbin the entire descent. Oh, shit. Okay, just watch our arc. Wait till we're getting just the right spot. Okay. Gonna warp here. And start a retrograde burn. All right, got a nice low orbit cooking. Let's see what direction we're spinning in. Okay, so we're going to want a maneuver that basically goes from here. No, don't warp there. Add maneuver there. And just brings us down. Just starts to bring us down there. Okay. All right. Okay. We are now prepped and ready to land. Okay. Don't want to lurch forward too much. I've made things harder for myself by attempting to land on the dark side, it looks like. And we're going to start a retrograde burn to slow ourselves down as we get closer to the surface. Okay. Ourselves drop a little bit more. Christ, it is dark here. Okay. Well, we're out of fuel. I just pray that we slowed ourselves down enough, but I don't think we did. Oh. Or maybe we did. Holy shit. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do now is just going to warp until we're in the daylight. We can have a look at what we just did. Yep, because we're currently out of juice, but once we get back into the sun, a couple of days of charging. Dang it. There we go. Worth 49 science transmitted. Log temperature. Transmit the data. Observe mystery goo. Transmit the data. Here we go. Pressure data. Transmit it. All right. Okay, needs a bit more juice. That's fine. All right, we've done it. We've done a successful unmanned landing on Moon and gotten us a shit ton more science. So we're going to start by getting ourselves some heavy rocketry. There we go. Now we can finally have some engines that can actually work with those giant fuel tanks we've gotten. And I'd also like to get the fuel systems upgrade if I can. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's going to be a pretty good stopping point for this evening. I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me, and be sure to and aim successful moon probe. All right, and thank you all so much for joining me, and be sure to join me for my next stream. That's going to be tomorrow night. That's going to be the first of our holiday watch parties. That's right, the theme that got these watch parties started, holiday content, is back again. And we're going to be watching the 1959 film Santa Claus. It's a Mexican kids movie that's it's real interesting. And that's going to be, you're going to have to see what that is tomorrow. But if any of you watch Mystery Science Theater, you're probably already familiar with this one. That's where I get a lot of my film recommendations, to be honest. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to check me out on Twitter and Blue Sky and TikTok and Instagram for all my clips. And be sure to check out my Throne toy drive. What was that? My Throne toy drive for more stuff to donate to the Children's Hospital, Children's National in DC. I've already gotten a few donations so far, but I'd love to see that pile of toys go ahead and there grow. And for now, let's see who we can raid out to. Let's see. I already rated them once recently. Nah, he's making me look bad. Eh. This one, screw it. We're just going to do mage. All right, rating in a few moments. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rating.